Top right hand side, from Kaisi Gaming, the Terran player who is rocking all of our worlds as of late. This is Oliveira. On the other side, looking to try and finally take a map for the Rebellion today. Can they do it? Can they get back on track? Lambo realistically needs a 2-0 here. Even 1-1 puts them in just so much danger. A 1-1 probably means Bjorn comes out and tries to win 2-0, 2-0 to even things out. That's just not going to be easy, whichever way you look at it. So, really hoping Lambo can find a 2-0 here, but like I said, it will not be easy. The only thing I will say is that obviously the veto from the Shopify Rebellion was based around having to play a Terran player on like Babylon, so that is not a map that can be picked at least, so that's a benefit. So that's one thing that's kind of going there. Is, hey, Logic, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Louvre. How you doing, Louvre? Congrats on being picked out today. One of the best subs on Twitch. Sometimes. Just gotta big myself up, I guess. One of the best things you could ever get. Thank you for the gifted sub. As I'm like reeling in like the dumbness of what I just said. Alright, so Reaper Orbital all on the way out, getting this underway. Seeing how things are gonna go. SCV coming down, obviously, to scout. This is going to be hatchery first. It's nothing really too wild or anything in that regard. This part of it is actually pretty normal, to say the least, just now. So it's pretty reasonable. Nothing out of the ordinary just yet. For the moment. So I see the Reaper obviously going to begin to dance and see if it can find some kills here, see if it can get enough done. Obviously, you just want to try and dance. If you can get some damage done, then brilliant, but not the end of the world if you cannot. Gonna see our factory moving over, gonna take that reactor, just gonna be seeing the barracks moving back the other way for a few moments as well. Just a little bit back and forth, Queen. Feelings gathering together, and just gonna be seeing again Hellions, SCV, Starport, all coming up for the moment. Bringing all of this through for now. Just end up backing away again. Starport on the way through. We do have our command center building up as well, so you know, getting ourselves a 3CC. There's no surprise about that. Just playing big map. Arguably, you could have maybe said perhaps you just try to play something like a you know, you play something along the lines of a you know, like a Hellbat attack, but it just anything like that's going to take way too long to hit. So I think Oliveira is just going to say, yeah, I'm pretty happy playing the long macro game if I need to, and that's exactly what he's going to try and go for here. Fusion core on the way up, by the way, so getting that fusion core started already. Getting that underway for now. That's going to give us a really good idea of what he wants to do, so it is going to be the battle cruisers. We'll see if he goes battle cruisers into the mech then. I think that's was my question mark to begin with. Was he able to play mech? Obviously, we've seen a bit of battle mech on this map recently, but even just battle cruiser mech is not a bad way to kind of go about things, I don't think. I'm down for it. I'm interested. I'll join in. And hey, Speed Racer, thank you so much for the 34-month resub. Hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for the resub today. Appreciate it. SBC on the way up. Lambo trying to get in for the scout. Doesn't go far enough to see the fusion core, right? Doesn't really get to pick up on too much there. You can see our one lane trying to scout again. Really wants to get in, but even as it gets past the Hellions, the Marines are still there, going to hold the ground. Going to be able to defend for the moment. So again, doing a good job of this just for now. Using to drop off here as our Hellions come through and group spread will be denied. Zergiel, thank you so much for some gifted subs to BK1, Super Big Robot, Chileano Singaporean, and Two Fish TV, and a little bit dicey. Thank you for the generosity. Much appreciated. Thank you. Hell yeah. Here's that BC that's obviously not going to be super crazy to begin with just yet, right? Looking pretty fine for Lambo. I mean, really good defense if you want to be completely honest. And it is going to be that Yamato, more BCs, full-on mech play behind this. So we were asking, is it going to be mech? Is it going to be that switch to bio, which sometimes you do see off the BCs as well? It is, in fact, going to be the mech that we see here. It just makes sense, guys. This is the map that you play mech on. It just is. If you have to play it, it pretty much has just been a mech map. Sometimes Gresvin's been used as a bit of the battle mech map as well, so between a couple of the maps that are used like that. Going to be seeing Hellions try and dive through, going to get into this natural, and, well, they get past the Queen, so this is going to be dangerous. Lambo pulls the drones, but now they're stacked up a little bit. These drones are going to all start going down. Lambo taking a ton of damage. 13 workers killed already. My goodness, the damage there adds up very quickly, so that's going to hurt. 13 drones, 14 drones in total this game, and obviously a lot of Hellions giving up, but Hellions are so expendable when you're playing this kind of mech style. That's really not going to be the issue, right? So you can absolutely give up those Hellions. That's no problem. And that means that Oliveira is very happy. Anytime you're killing off these workers, you're slowing down that Zerg economy. That's absolutely something you're 100% okay with. That's absolutely fine. Double BC still on the map as well with the Yamatos. You're basically going to force him to pay the BC tax every single time here as well, right? So that's something else you kind of got to keep on top of here. The fact that, you know, these BCs will just Yamato a couple of things, teleport away, and that's a constant drain on your resources throughout the course of this matchup. There you go, already a Corruptor going down, and that's what happens, man. You just have to do this repeatedly. You just have to lose Corruptors to those battle cruisers. It's frustrating, it's annoying, it feels expensive, and it is, quite frankly. It is all expensive. All these things are very true. But there's not really much you can do about it. That's kind of one of the reasons why this mech play is viable, quite frankly, right? Without it, mech would kind of probably be bad, honestly. With it, mech is kind of doable. I mean, obviously nowadays we talk about mech with the Cyclones being a little bit better as well. It's definitely a consideration to be made too. As our BCs are going to fly into the back here. Corruptors are going to come in, teleport away. We're not being very active with anything else on the map as Oliveira. That's my only issue. So some of the damage that Lambo took earlier is not really as impactful as it might have been if this was like battle mech and you're continuing to trade, you're continuing to force units while Lambo has to find the chance to re-drone and you're immediately taking advantage. So that's personally one of my kind of pet peeves with mech is that, you know, you can take a lead and then mech doesn't really capitalize on that lead very well at all. And if you're not capitalizing on your leads, obviously they can end up in a lot of trouble very quickly. So, oh well, not maybe in trouble, but you don't look as though, you know, you don't look as good as you maybe should be looking, I suppose is the way you should phrase it. Lambo is maxed. Let's see if he wants to try and create some fights here, see if he wants to try and take some trades or not. A reasonable possibility, right, that you maybe get a little bit into something here. Those Corruptors all joining up and waiting for their chance to maybe get something done. Disruptors, Ravagers, Mainline's not going to pick that fight just yet. Pretty happy to hold back just for the moment, so we'll not go too crazy just yet. His Banes don't actually have speed, so it's going to be kind of difficult, I suppose, for them to do much just yet, so we'll have a little bit of time building still as you see our Ravagers, our Banelings coming through. PC's obviously still kind of working their way on other sides, trying to force some units to turn different directions and everything as well, so there's all just things that are being, or having tabs kept on them throughout the course of this game and as we get set up here. Catching a few of these units as well is going to be nice to kind of clean up just a little bit, so again, doing pretty okay with that. I mean, as long as you can take trades like that, you're generally going to end up in, I feel like, very manageable situations as Lambo. You know, you're slowing the Terran down that little bit every time, and I think that has a big role to play a lot of the time here as our few units going to go wrapping around each other. Going to be seeing these rocks getting cleaned out, so we're going to open access to this gold base. So Lambo's going to take this gold base. Obviously, you have to knock the rocks down. It destroys the tower. By destroying the tower, then you're going to be able to, you know, once you knock that tower down, then you're going to be able to actually take that base as an actual base if you would like to. So it's definitely a plus. Often you see the gold base is taken, honestly, on altitude, and it's obviously going to be one of the cases where we do actually get to see that. So again, pretty cool. A little bit different to the norm. See now, Thors and Hellbats still pressing forward. See if your Bane's going to turn into some of these units as well. It's just going to turn straight into that and do some picking. We do have the Ravagers showing up to try and pick up some of these Thors on the tail end. Oliveira dropping in some supply. I mean, so does Lambo, right? These are not easy trades for Lambo to take. They're costly, they're inefficient, but that's obviously kind of just how Zerg always plays in this matchup, so that's not something we can be too surprised about. This is caustic spraying down factories, man. You're losing production right here. PCs are counterattacking again. The Corruptor's actually taking some losses as they come back through. The Thor's getting some shots on them, so Lambo paying a bit of a price there, having to do some rebuilding. And obviously, if the Corruptors are caustic spraying across the map, it means that these battle cruisers have much, easier access, without too many issues, and that's something we're definitely seeing right now. So it's definitely becoming a little bit of a factor as we see the picture-in-picture showing us the BC's getting active, and the Thor's still pushing here for Oliveira, pushing his way up onto creep spread, and it really feels like this map is getting a little bit too overwhelming to say, maybe just a little bit overwhelming right now for Oliveira, but he is doing some good damage. All of a sudden he's picking off a bunch of drones. He just has to slowly chip his way through these positions in this army, of course, of Lambo, and it's just going to be a long game, right? If you're going to win this as Oliveira, this is not something you're going to win in the next kind of couple of minutes. This has to be something that's won over a much longer period of time, so that definitely has to be a factor. More drones going down. Again, we just chip through that as best we can. We keep on making our way through this. Some Lings, Banes, Roaches, Ravagers coming across, and they're just going to try and knock down a base. Obviously, if you can stop Oliveira from getting future mining, that's going to be great as well. Lambo's bank is drained, though, guys. He's only on 62 drones. His bank's taking some heavy losses. I think maybe this is a chance for Oliveira. Even if he's got a long way to go to break through all the production and everything of Lambo and all the bases, the last couple of moments have looked very good for him and may just be enough to really set him up nicely here. Going to be seeing a couple of newer parasites going to go big as they come in, able to hit some damage right there. Just going to be able to, with the Neuros, take over some units, and obviously that's problematic. Here comes some links falling forward. Do we have enough Hellbats to help deal with that? The tanks will not trade super well in this. I mean, Oliveira still was kind of ahead in supply going into this fight. It just wasn't the right units for what Lambo built, and that obviously then benefits Lambo quite heavily. So Lambo able to do a little bit of something there, a little bit of kind of getting back in control of this. It just remains to have been a messy game of SE2. And that's where we currently stand. A game that's just been a little bit of a mess. It's been a little bit all over. It definitely has not been easy. Will protect against the caustic spray, though that planetary fortress will not be allowed to go down, so going to defend that nice and easily. Obviously make sure that we're keeping control of this game as best as we can. We don't want to let this go too far out of our control. Ling's showing up, and I'm just going to run down here. Oh, Hellbat's going to get caught. I mean, Lambo losing extra drones is concerning in my eyes because he really hasn't had a good work account for a while at this point. And that at this stage is just something that's becoming more and more of an issue. You know, like this just keeps reoccurring. That's got to be a problem, right? I mean, you can't just keep on... You can't win versus mech games with 60 drones most of the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, the mech player doesn't have a lot of workers, but it's Lambo that's traded worse through this game. The last time I checked in, it was like 5k difference, but that was a while ago. I was going to see Hellions getting rid of drones yet again. Just a base that doesn't even have like a spine crawler on it. These are things which, yeah, maybe Lambo has not been able to afford recently, but that's the sort of reason why you're going to get into a better and better position as Oliveira, because Lambo's the one that's just not able to kind of keep up in these scenarios. He's getting into bad spots. He's definitely ended up in some tough positions. 16 drones dead. I mean, these Hellbats have taken down that base. On the picture-in-picture, they're still chasing drones. And you're a Parasite killing off a Thor on our main screen, so it's going to be a Thor that goes down. It's again just so many workers that we're losing out on throughout this. It's kind of crazy. More drones. I mean, at this point, we're once again just going to see Oliveira taking position right on top of one of Lambo's bases here, so just really making it difficult for Lambo to be okay in these positions, man. I mean, you're taking a ton of damage repeatedly. It's not an easy position, and obviously you're trying to get up to these Broodlords. Well, the tank army that's here is not going to do very well against the Broodlords, but right now they're killing Broodlings before it even matters. Cyclone's locking on, so some of the new Broodlords that are morphing are getting killed / cancelled before they can even really get set up. And this army just keeps pressing forward. The tanks on siege, believing they can do enough. They get held up by a little bit of a neural there. Actually kind of walled them in, I believe. Oliveira's supply still leading here as we're hitting the 20-minute marker on altitude. We expected this to be a big game, and Oliveira was not put back by the fact that this game really did kind of swing into control of Lambo a lot through the early stages, right? Broodlord's now going to enable him to make a bit of a push, but this might just be the last push available for Lambo, as he really doesn't have... Well, he just doesn't have a lot, right? Like, it's the Broodlords or die trying, and obviously as you build a new round of Thors here, it's going to have to be a spectacular fight from Lambo to deny what Oliveira currently has going on, so... Yeah, not easy, not simple. Still not really an ideal situation all said and done. Can try and retake this gold base. Lambo's just been strapped for cash for a huge amount of time now as well, right? This has been an extreme amount of time where we've not been able to really mine. Why not remake drones? Probably because he just hadn't been able to keep the bases alive to get the drones on these bases. And obviously these bases have been denied by the Terran player a couple times over, and that's the complication that Lambo's been trying to figure out over time here. He's been trying to deal with this for a while, and it's starting to kind of get to that point, I suppose. And maybe he's holding on a little bit better. It has been a little messy, absolutely. It's just a scrappy game, guys, right? A lot happens in these games. A lot goes on. It's not always easy to play perfectly in these scenarios, and it's absolutely, I think, just one of those cases where it's been a messy game, and keeping up in this kind of a game has not been easy in the slightest. Lords again trying to make their mark on this defense. Trying to come through and make a hold, but with the Thors here now, you need neural parasites. But the thing is, you know this, so all you have to do is scan. If you can scan and keep ahead of the neurals, then you shouldn't really have any issues, Oliveira. And if he wins this map, well, the next couple of matches are going to be rough, because then, well, you know, whoever comes out next from Shopify Rebellion has to go 2-0. It doesn't even matter what happens in Lambo Oliveira game 2. There has to be a chunk of 2-0s from Shopify to bring them back in this. And that's obviously just a difficult position to be in. No guarantees, and Shopify might be making an early exit for the playoffs this season. They've been a great team in the playoffs in seasons gone by. They've been a team that can compete with teams that we've not expected them to compete with and everything. They've been a fascinating team to watch, but today, they can't even get through Oliveira. And I say, he's the world champion, right? He's right now the ace of the team, I suppose, and he is playing like it. Looking to take himself up 1-0 here. And again, that would be 5-0 in maps on the day for Oliveira. So again, just really playing some stellar StarCraft 2, really keeping himself in great positions. And at this point, Lambo just hasn't had the drones and the bases for anywhere near as long as he's needed them. So unfortunately, it's just going to be, well, honestly, just kind of out of luck a little bit, right? I mean, it's just tough, man. GG has to be called. He's not going to be able to do much else here. Like I said, this game got away from him a little while ago. And Oliveira is just on a winning streak. Plain and simple. This man cannot stop winning. Best thing Lambo can do is take a map and then force the next player out from TvZ Gaming. And then obviously they just need to 2-0 them, and then 2-0 and 2-0 and try and fight back into the series. Oliveira is up 1-0 against Lambo. Has been playing well. Like I say, it's been a convincing set of games so far from him. Plain and simple. And excited to see if he can keep it up, as Lambo is on the other side from the Shopify Rebellion. We'll see if he can bring this back a little bit, because it's just not been pretty, man. Lambo should just tag in Scarlet WWE supply. She just appears on the map with 200 supply. Nice, I love it. The concept is brilliant. Ten out of 10. Alright. Proxy Rex here from Oliveira. As 200 supply would win this game right now for Lambo. The Scout might win this game for Lambo. A third SCV, but obviously with the Scout, this is actually really bad. Oliveira, Proxy Rex is going to be in a bad place, because the second SCV will go down, and that means... Oh, as Lambo pauses... You know, obviously it's not BM, like, he's lagging, right? But it's just like, he's just like, I just want you to take a moment to really understand what happened here, bro. I want you to take a moment to understand that I just destroyed your Proxy Rex. It's alright. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for supporting the day. Hope you're doing well, and yeah, thanks for the support. Well, looks as though we're back. Apparently Lambo just had a big spike in ping, which it happens, right? Especially if this is west for him. I think usually EU versus China is always west. There's no west central west because China just doesn't have that good of a connection to NA compared to Korea, for example. So while we're used to it being kind of west central west or west central, one of each, central west, whatever, you know, whichever order it is. I'm pretty sure against China it's west west. I think. Well, there's obviously worst start we've seen Oliveira have, and absolutely horrendous start just in general. Not what you want to be having. This really kind of puts you in a pretty miserable position, to say the least. And just going to be having Lambo in a spot where he's got to be happy with this, right? I mean, good map for him. He's gone off to a great start here. And this is the benefit of having lost the first game, although obviously losing the first game is not great, especially when your team needs some 2-0s to get back in it. But a good chance to 1-1 from here. And obviously that might just make it a bit more possible further down the line, because say Bjorn gets revived and this does go 1-1. If this goes 1-1 and Bjorn gets revived, Bjorn would then have to 2-0 Spirit and 2-0 Reynor to even out the series. Don't get me wrong, that's probably not super likely, or the most likely of situations, but it's not impossible. It's plausible, you know? Like, if someone told me that that was happening, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Really good day for Bjorn. Actually comes down from Lambo taking that third base. Obviously the CC from Oliveira delayed. Everything's going to be delayed and not quite what is meant to be here and everything, so yeah. It's going to be seeing our Viking on the way up as well, and with the Viking, you can have some overlords at this point. I imagine we're probably just going to try and play a pretty standard controlling kind of game. There's only so much I can really imagine you can try to do here as Oliveira. Like, anything aggressive, Lambo's going to be way too... Like, Lambo's going to be the step ahead to kind of deal with the aggression if you try to get aggressive in too many ways. So, I think you just got to play a little bit more of a... slower game, as Lambo's going to lag again, I think. So, just having some lag issues here for a couple of moments. Hopefully, not going to be a permanent problem. If you're lagging, guys, you're lagging. You can't really do much there. You can Scarlet Revive against Spirit and Reynor. I think if it was just 2 Reynor, there's arguments to be made that this could instead be the, you know, the revive on one of the Zergs instead of necessarily on Bjorn. I think having to go through Spirit as well, though, I think consistency is just there much more often if you're sending out Bjorn. So, anyways, just some theory crafting for upcoming choices. Because obviously that's going to be something we'll be discussing soon after this game. Obviously we're into revival territory for the Shopify Rebellion. As our Liberator, Hallion's Armory, all coming in. And this medevac going to go down to the south side. Maybe a little Hellbat drop in the main base, some Hellbats pushing around the side. I actually wasn't super fond of this idea just because, well, I guess I like this because this is more so testing if Lambo can be in the right positions, more so than, hey, Lambo, do you just have enough units? Like, obviously, unit count is a part of this, but the actual fact that you've got to kind of, you know, it's not just the unit count in this case, right? This is also the fact that this has got to be, you know, units in the right places. I think there's better chance he catches the Hellions, and this honestly looks as though we're going to have a pretty simple win for Lambo. He was ahead early. He closed it out. Good job. Well done. Well played. GG's. I'm going to get Reynor straight away, so we'll get to find out whether this is the right call or not. Right from the get-go, in fact.
TvZ Gaming versus Shopify Rebellion.
Shopify Rebellion.
Game 4. Let's start the game.
Top left-hand side is going to be our blue Zerg player, Reno. Bottom right, our red Zerg from Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. What happened to the second Lambo Oliveira game? Oliveira, 2 racks, got scouted, got killed. Just wasn't really very pretty, to say the very least. There really wasn't a lot to it, right? Like, it wasn't really all that crazy, to be honest with you. Olo coming across the map as we play this TvZ. Let's see what's going to go down. To get this underway. Just getting set up. Swimming pool coming up, hatchery coming down, everything looking pretty normal for the moment. Nothing too crazy just yet as we get everything underway. And waiting to see where obviously the differences will come from in this TvZ perhaps. See when the two might bend away from each other in terms of what they can get up to here, so excited to see what happens there. Just looking up the stats between these two as we get into this match. I was just trying to see whether there was anything particularly interesting about their history as of late. And Reno's just been on a streak against Lambo. Lambo hasn't actually beaten Reno since 2019. It's been coming up to 4 years since Lambo won a series against Reno. Which is kind of a wild stat, guys. Kind of a wild stat, right? Like, that generally doesn't bode well for you, but I guess we'll see what will happen as we get underway, hopefully fairly soon, into some true action. Baneland S coming up on either side, so all of this is coming in for just a moment. Just going to be seeing our hatch coming through as well. So again, just a lot of setting up for the moment here. A lot of getting going in these early stages. Our feeling is moving around the map, trying to see if there's anything initially that they can find. There's a Roadrun from Reno, by the way. Reno, who took this forward base, and is going to send drones to that forward base as well. So going to start saturating that very quickly in this game, as Lambo already set up some Banelings that could potentially hit that location. Here are the Banes through the center. First Baneling goes off. Queen defends. Ooh, next Baneling actually hits badly onto the hatchery. Not ideal from Lambo's Reno. He's getting the drones away for the moment. The Roaches tank the Banelings. The Lings are chasing. Reno will lose some drones, but Lambo is not in a position to build roaches yet. He's still waiting on his Rotron. If Reyno goes across the map, there's a lot of potential for him to do some very good damage right here. That's exactly what Reyno will do. He will start to move across to the bottom right-hand side, so away he goes. Looking for the chance to break into that bottom right-hand corner. As the roaches move through in towards the natural. A couple of these Banelings morphing probably don't matter. Well, they do splash nicely onto the roaches when they get in the center, and 10 roaches about to finish up from Lambo. Is that going to be enough? Will they spawn in a good enough place that you can actually collect them together and obviously actually clean up these roaches all at once? Lambo's down a lot of army supply, and well, Reyno is making Ling Roach behind this with the carapace upgrades. He's definitely looking to keep this aggression going. He's retaking a worker lead as well, and these roaches are just going to trade out as best they can, and then it's really the follow-up that's going to be quite scary, I think, for Lambo to deal with here, as it already looks very, very good at the moment for Reyno. Lambo tries to tech up, starts the lair. This game's just falling away from him, guys. Not really a lot to say. This is just not going to be an exciting back and forth affair, I feel like. This one's actually going to be kind of wrapped up pretty quickly, in all honesty. Just going to be seeing our feelings, roaches moving around. Just going to be seeing everything coming down to this bottom right corner. Readying up the potential attack here. Well, Reyno just has so much army supply as well, and that's definitely going to be part of the problem, right? Almost 100% it's going to be part of the problem, and yeah, I mean, roaches keep on moving through, Bane's coming in, this is just going to be way too much. Drones are trying to fight for Lambo, but the Spine Crawl is not even going to help. Extra Ling showing up from Reyno, and this is going to be clean and simple. Absolutely no issue at all. It's just not really anything else to add on there, guys. That is going to be, that's just going to be it. GG's. Reyno